Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sarcasm and Liberty Wednesday night live stream. I'm your host, Mike Ursery, aka the Liberty Ginger. A little bit smaller panel tonight. Tonight is one of those unusual nights where we started later and we don't have everyone here tonight. But we do have our anonymous friend from across the pond, the pure madness one. We have the annoyed monarchist Otter, and we have our meme master, Michael Leoncello. Guys, how are we doing?
I still live here.
How we doing, guys?
I'm
doing
good.
All right.
I'm very sorry to hear that, madness. You are still in the EU. So, now we talked last week about the Brett Kavanaugh fiasco going on in Washington, D.C. Here we are a week later, and maybe it's close to being done, but we really don't know. Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford are both supposed to testify tomorrow before the Senate Judiciary Committee about the alleged sexual assault that took place in 1982. But there's been a lot more that's happened besides just that. And we're going to, tonight's live stream is just going to be an update of everything that's happened, as well as a recap of everything over the last week. So, update, there is more than just one accuser now. If you've been watching the news, then you knew that there are now two more accusers that are in the story now. One of them, a woman named Deborah Ramirez, who went to Yale University with Kavanaugh, and she said that at a party, Kavanaugh whipped out his genitalia and showed it to her. And then Resistance King himself, Michael Avenatti, has inserted himself into the situation. He has a client, a woman who says that she was gang raped at a party during the early 1980s, and that, well, in her statement, she says that Brett Kavanaugh was present. Now, whether he was present at the party or he was present at the gang rape itself, we really don't know. The statement is rather vague in that regard. But this is where we are as of right now. Brett Kavanaugh is either going to be a Supreme Court justice in the next few days, or he is going to register as a sex offender, or actually maybe not, because it's past the statute of limitations, but he is going to, basically, if this is all true, his reputation is going to be shot forever and his life is pretty much over. So this is where we are as of right now. Are we going to have a ninth Supreme Court justice, or is Trump going to have to nominate someone else because Kavanaugh just couldn't get confirmed?
And it's hard to say. I want to say that he'll be fine through all this, because unless they really convict him and make all this a sure thing, completely guilty and file charges on him. But another side is saying there's been so much controversy about this guy, I can't really see them going through with him now, because then you're not going to hear the end of it for how many years? Every time there's going to be a controversial call, they're going to bring this up and say, well, he was never even supposed to be a judge because of all this crap.
This is Clarence Thomas 2.0.
I would say this is worse than Clarence Thomas, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. But can you imagine how much worse the Thomas Clarence hearings and everything surrounding it would have been with social media back then? I mean, if you did that now, oh my God.
I absolutely agree with you. And yeah, if there was social media back then, who knows how that would have went. But yeah, this is, I mean, what year was Clarence Thomas confirmed?
89, 90? It was during HW.
Okay, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember much about. I mean, I know that a woman named Anita Hill was involved, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember too much of that story.
Yeah, I was 4 or 5. I remember. I know more from having read about it than certainly anything. I was much more concerned about making sure I caught Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I was more concerned with Transformers and Smurfs than I was Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court. But man, so all right,
Good old days.
so let's go ahead and just do a quick rundown. Now, Kavanaugh and Ford are supposed to testify tomorrow. The Senate Judiciary Committee has a prosecutor, a woman coming in. Let me find her name. Gosh, I am totally unprepared tonight. I had to work late and I am completely unprepared. I apologize for that. This is a very
Sweateds or something. Sweat something or other. SWET something or other. 8 letters. First force SWET. I can't remember the rest.
Svetlana?
A Russian? That would be the day.
So there's your Russian interference right there.
Oh, right. I know.
The Russians are trying to
Rachel
interfere with our
Mitchell.
SCOTUS.
Her name is Rachel Mitchell. She is a career prosecutor. They say that she has decades of experience prosecuting sex crimes. So she is going to be asking the questions tomorrow to both Kavanaugh and to Ford. From what I understand, Ford's legal team has wanted the senators themselves to ask the questions instead of a prosecutor doing it.
I thought she was going to be questioning the second or third accuser. That was the name I was coming up with. Sorry about that.
Oh, no. No worries. So I don't know why Ford's legal team wanted senators to ask the questions instead of the prosecutor. I guess maybe because I don't really know. This is just really strange. And
it's a political strategy. You have a bunch of anything that she isn't softballed with is immediately an attack on by straight white men on a rape victim, defending a straight white male that they are trying to confirm to the Supreme Court. Versus if you have a female prosecutor asking the questions, it removes it removes some of the ammo from the political argument of her being attacked, because now she's being questioned by one of her own, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's how
that's a very good point.
Isn't that like sexism defined though? You know, it's like, well, this person can't do it because he's a man.
It's the bigotry of it's the bigotry of low expectation. If you because something happened, it automatically removes the objectivity of the questioner against the person who's questioned. It's a visual. It's a the word. I'm not skilled enough.
It's not a decoy, but cutting out a little bit.
We're losing one of you.
I think that was Otter.
Otter. I think
That's
we've
me.
lost the Otter. He must have. Oh, okay.
Dead spot.
Go ahead.
Just going. Go ahead and finish. Otter, you there?
Yeah, I'm in a dead spot. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
go ahead, Mike.
All right. So she's going to be asking both of them questions. Now, gosh, I have some notes written down with about, my gosh. So whenever they were trying to negotiate a hearing for the Senate Judiciary Committee, Christine Blasey Ford had a list of demands that she wanted before she would testify. Some of these demands were that it would be no sooner than September 27th, and that is tomorrow. And the reason for that is because supposedly she has a fear of flying in planes, which she says is caused by the incident from so long ago that she has claustrophobia. She's in a confined space. She starts feeling afraid and feels like she can't escape. So she doesn't like being in planes for that reason. So she would need to travel from. Do what?
You're talking about the victim, right?
Yes, Christine Blasey Ford.
Yeah. I think
so
that
she would
she'd
need to
be afraid
travel.
of. I would think that she'd be afraid of trains, not planes. But
how did she
not
get
sure.
to Hawaii for the year she worked there? And I mean, did they pull a Mr. T and they fooled him and drugged her or something? You know,
I don't know.
Like on the 18th, every time he had to fly.
Go by boat.
Not to Hawaii.
Maybe she swam. Maybe she swam to Hawaii from California.
That's possible.
So one demand that she had was no questions from outside counsel, meaning that she wanted questions only from the senators. Well, that obviously is not going to work since this prosecutor is going to be asking them the questions. She wanted Brett Kavanaugh's friend, Mark Judge, who she said was also there at that party that night. She wanted him to be subpoenaed. I haven't heard anything about Mark Judge being subpoenaed, so I don't know if he's ever going to be interrogated. He's already submitted a sworn statement to the committee saying that never happened. So in the case that he's lying, he's already perjured himself because of that. She wants Kavanaugh to testify first, and then she would go. I don't know if that's how it's going to go tomorrow.
That's
Now,
I believe even illegal to do because the accuser should go first.
Well, in a regular court, yes. In a regular court, the accuser always goes first, and then the defendant has a chance to defend themselves. But this isn't a court trial. It's before the Senate Judiciary Committee, so I don't know if that same rules would apply. But so she wanted Kavanaugh to go first, and then she wanted to go, and then she did not want Kavanaugh to have a chance to offer any rebuttal to her testimony. I don't know why. And then she also wanted Kavanaugh to not be in the room again in a traditional court trial. The accused has the right to confront and listen to their accuser, but if it goes that way tomorrow, that won't be the case. Because Kavanaugh won't be in the room whenever Christine Ford testifies. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not sure. And she wanted them both to have the same amount of time to talk. So basically, she doesn't want Kavanaugh to have more time than her. Am I the only one who feels like this is just...
Wait, so Kavanaugh has to go first, and she wants to make the talk the same time. So all he really needs to do is like wrap it up in like 2 minutes before she can even get a story out, and it's all done, right?
I don't know if that's the case. I think maybe she means like a time limit.
Right.
Like, so say if she's interrogated for an hour, she wants Kavanaugh to be interrogated for no more than an hour, I guess is what she's saying.
Right. Yeah, I assume it's not going to be ridiculous like that, but the way that's phrased, it's like, well, if those are the exact if that's the exact terms they're going on, technically Kavanaugh could just, do like I said, like a 2-minute little rant and not give her any time to speak her story. So.
Yep. Now, as far as witnesses go, she named off some witnesses. Now, there were 4 witnesses. There was Kavanaugh, there was Judge, there was another man and another woman who she named off. Kavanaugh denied it. Judge denied it. The other 2 witnesses that she named off, now the man said that he did not know Kavanaugh and said that he did not know of the party that she was talking about. And then the lady said that she did not know Kavanaugh, and she did not know the party that Ford was talking about. But then she also said that she believed Ford, which is strange. So any witnesses who were there or that she said were there, those witnesses are now out because they've already submitted statements saying that they had no knowledge. Our media, matter of fact, this was NBC News yesterday. So she now has 4 written statements that have been submitted to the Senate Judiciary Committee. And now you guys know what corroborate means, right?
Yeah.
Meaning that someone verifies what you say.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically corroborating witness, a witness who is there who can verify that the testimony or the statement or whatever is true because they were there and they saw it. Apparently, NBC News
does so independently of reading or hearing that other person's story.
Correct. Thank you. NBC News yesterday was trying to change the meaning of corroboration. So she's going to have 4 new statements that are submitted to the Senate Judiciary Committee, which they say are corroborating statements. One of them is from her husband, which says that she told him about the incident and that he believes her. That's not corroboration.
That's a witness statement.
Three more are friends of hers, and she told them, like she told one in 2017, she told one in 2016, and she told another one sometime between 2012 and 2017. Again, just saying that she told them about it and that they believe her. Not corroboration, just that they believe what she said. Now, simply saying that you believe someone does not make it true, or else the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy would be real, but they're not, even though kids believe that they are.
Yeah. Take note, I am now telling you that the Earth is indeed flat, so read that back in about a year and we'll make that verified.
All right. Yes. Some people believe the Earth is flat. The Earth is not flat, even if people do believe it.
Same as the people believing in billions of genders.
Right. Yeah, that too.
Everyone knows it's
so
believing it MF, that's a fucking slur.
Language.
Google Tesseract Earth Truth.
So NBC News, I can't remember which reporter it was, but he put it on Twitter and he called them corroborating statements, but they were not corroborating statements. They were simply just statements saying that she told them about it and that they believed her. So
just so I'm understanding this correctly, like an example of corroboration is like when you get arrested and they ask you and your friend the different stories without you talking to each other. That's kind of an example of what corroboration is, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, if I can have a 10-second tangential rant here, this sort of redefining word nonsense is exactly how we've come to have irregardless accepted into our language as the word it does not mean.
It's a double negative.
Yes, and now it's Anyway, I'll go going for 10 minutes if I'm allowed to on that. Anyway, but that's how we get. That's how we got that. We're going to get there with other words now.
Yep. So I can't remember the reporter's name, but they called it corroboration. So another thing that's interesting is that Kavanaugh has a defense as to, because he says that party never happened. He has a defense. I don't know if you guys have seen the calendar that he has produced. Apparently, Kavanaugh has a calendar from 1982 that documents everything he did during that year. And this thing is amazing. I mean, it's detailed. It really is everything that he did. I mean, he was grounded in 1982, and he wrote down the days that he was grounded in his calendar. I mean, I don't know how much bigger of a nerd a person could be, but it's amazing. He has a calendar.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I would expect that out of like diaries, but a calendar?
Yeah.
Calendar.
I was just thinking of diaries when he was saying that.
Well, they said that he never fell asleep behind a book, so he liked to study.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is interesting. Now he has, in big letters across one of the weeks, he has Beach Week. I guess his family went on vacation to a beach. In fact, the weekend of that week, he has that he was at the house of someone named Bernie. So he actually had a weekend at Bernie's in 1982. Yes. I mean, everybody watching, look it up yourself. He actually has a calendar, and he can't, because I guess he played football at Yale when he went there. So he has football camp. He has the time that he was on vacation on the beach. I really hope that Senate Democrats tomorrow ask him why he was grounded, because I kind of want to know. And I just feel like Senate Democrats would actually ask him that. Why was 18-year-old Brett Kavanaugh grounded? Or 17-year-old, or however old he was.
15 minutes past curfew. He wasn't home by the time the lights were on. The street lights were on.
Yeah.
Right. Brett Kavanaugh did an interview with Martha McCallum on Fox News earlier in the week, and he said that he was a virgin all the way through college. So that was interesting. We're learning a lot more than about Brett Kavanaugh than we probably thought we'd ever know.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like
in a week time, we are learning more about Brett Kavanaugh than we probably ever thought we'd ever know. I mean, I don't care when Brett Kavanaugh lost his virginity, but here we are.
Yeah, we learned that Brett Kavanaugh was a virgin through college, and that what Trump's penis looks like. What a week!
I know. My gosh.
Now I got a question. Does that make what's her name, Stormy Daniels, Mario? Because once she touched the mushroom, she got bigger.
Well, it can be.
Oh my gosh.
Luigi can grow bigger. Peach have gone grow bigger with it, and Toad have gone grow bigger with it. The Toad can grow bigger from other Toads.
Wow.
My question about
the go either bigger from it. And about what's the new one? Wet? Can she either grow bigger from it?
I don't know.
My question about the question of his virginity is, it works both ways for the narrative they want to paint. You know, never mind that they're virgin shaming. You know, if he lost his virginity, if he didn't lose his virginity early on, then he's a frustrated incel or some such, and that makes him a candidate for enacting violence against women out of frustration or some such. If he lost it early, then he's a serial rapist, a serial whatever, and he's a playboy, yada yada, and he uses women for his own pleasure. It works both ways for them. You know, there's no negative. They just have two stories, and they pull one story out of a bucket, whichever bucket they need. You know, whichever bucket.
Right.
One labeled angry incel, the other one labeled philanderer and serial rapist. You know, never mind, they've already elected one of those. But
yeah, that's a lot more complicated than the whole prude or easy double-edged sword that we give women a lot of times.
Yeah.
Definitely
Oh,
a lot
not
more
just that,
complicated.
but what I have noticed that a lot of people on the contra left likes to make fun of him that apparently he was a virgin. I'm like, why is that so
Mhm.
funny? What's the joke? Who the fuck cares?
I don't know.
Uh,
I
They make the
don't
most
know.
cringiest jokes about it.
well,
But that's
you know,
super typical with them.
despite
Don't know.
us supposedly losing all of these norms from time immemorial, you know, now they're falling back on the old. Well, if he wasn't getting laid all the time, he's obviously a loser. Haven't they been trying to dispel that for like the last 15, 20 years in their social justice as they progress through what we now call social justice nonsense and dispelling societal norms about sexuality?
I don't know. But I'm sure that's probably going to be. I'm sure that'll probably be asked to him tomorrow. Something about everything that you just said there. I could see any of that being asked to him tomorrow by this prosecutor. So the Michael Avenatti client, her name is Julie Swetnick. She is from Montgomery County, Maryland. Now this is really interesting to me. She went to Gaithersburg High School in Maryland. And I was reading today, a New York Times article said that she graduated in 1980. So she is alleged that she has gone to all these parties where Brett Kavanaugh and Judge have both been present, and they participated in gang rapes. She said that I think I can't remember if she saw it herself or if she just described it as hearsay, that they would spike the punch at these parties with drugs and alcohol, and then they would get women drunk, and then they would gang rape them after they were inebriated. And she said that she would see them in line
I hear a slight echo.
outside of rooms waiting to go in. And then she said that she was gang raped at one of the parties, and she said that Kavanaugh was present. Now, whether that means that he was participating in the gang rape or if he was just at the party where she was gang raped, I'm not sure. Her statement is very vague, and I hear that. I don't know where that echo is coming from.
Not for me. That's not possible with my headset.
I don't know. But this here is what I find interesting. So she graduated in 1980. Brett Kavanaugh graduated from high school in 1983. So she's 3 years older than him. So if he's doing this stuff when he's in high school, she's already in college, and she's already legally an adult. So is she legally an adult and a college student going to high school parties
with people
where drugs and alcohol and sex allegedly are involved?
And if she had sex with him, that is a statutory rape? What the fuck she did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been as young as 14 if he was 17 when he graduated.
Right.
With these parties.
Yeah. But I mean,
if she was assaulted or raped at the first party, then she went to subsequent parties and didn't tell anyone about the spiked punches, or she knew about the spiked punches and was assaulted at the last one. Either way, she's a witting accomplice to not preventing these things. You know, isn't there some legal precedence about due diligence, not having knowledge or forethought of a crime and not doing something about it?
Yep, you are correct. Now, $10 says that this sworn statement. Now, she signed this yesterday morning, and we'll get to something else here in a little bit. But she signed this yesterday morning. It was signed on the morning of September 25th, which was yesterday. I don't know the time, but so Michael Avenatti has a picture of the statement. I don't know. Now, $10 says that this sworn statement is never going to be formally submitted. I really think that this is just like a diversionary tactic, and this is probably a smear. But I mean, for one thing, is she an adult hanging out with a bunch of kids, drinking and doing drugs? For one, like you said, why didn't she ever say anything? But if she went to, like, say she went to the first party, the first of the 10 or 12 or however many it was, and she knew this was going on, why would she keep going back? And I mean, she said that she was eventually gang raped at one of these parties. I mean, you know the old saying, if you keep playing with fire, eventually you're going to get burned. I mean, she goes to all these parties where she knows all these people who are going to be there, and she knows that all these gang rapes have been taking place, and she keeps going back. I mean, does that make sense to you? Because it certainly doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And if she knew that the punch was being spiked, and she knew that there were young women there who were going to get raped, why would she not warn any of them about it and try to get them out of danger? So, I mean, this allegation has so many holes in it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All of those, I pretty much call them fake survivors, have flimsy stories. Each one have more flimsy than the previous one.
I know.
The last one is apparently a woman who saw him hitting another woman drunk, and she was apparently very traumatized. She was there with some other anonymous people. She was self-state either anonymous. I'm like,
I don't know.
so we're not going to literally have anonymous people. Like, they could just literally make shit up. Like, yeah, this person and this anonymous person. So this. That is nowhere near credible in any court of law.
I don't think this statement's ever going to be formally submitted. I think he took a picture of it and put it on his Twitter just to have that effect.
Am I imagining it, or didn't this story start out as something along the lines of 7 Minutes of Heaven in a closet?
Closet. I believe that was Christine Blasey Ford's. I think it was either a closet or a bedroom. She said that she was pinned to a bed, so I'm assuming that it's
okay. That kept out of changing.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first story I thought I swear I heard I thought it was I'd heard something about it being a lot less than rape, aside from the being pinned to the bed thing. That was after the.
The first one I heard was literally in closet, and I remember her specifically stating that he was not sexually assaulting her, that he was not doing anything sexual to her. And then later he did some sexual things, and it was rape, and then a bed was involved.
She said that he was trying to pull her clothes off, is what she said in her, that's her story, that he pinned her to a bed and was trying to pull her clothes off, and then Judge jumped on top of both of them, and then apparently Kavanaugh and Judge got into some kind of scuffle, and then she was able to get away because of that.
That seems very weird, in my opinion, still.
It seems very strange. Deborah Ramirez is the lady at Yale University who said that he whipped his junk out and showed it to her, and I guess he asked her to touch it, or he tried to make her touch it. Apparently, she said that she has holes in her memory, that she was drinking that night, and apparently she also said that she's not sure if it was Brett Kavanaugh. So Brett Kavanaugh is accused of doing this, but at the same time, she's not sure if it's Brett Kavanaugh.
I have either heard, there was Leaf who talked about in her live stream, that apparently in the yearbook, there's a guy that looks like Kavanaugh.
Yeah, somebody tried to pull out the doppelganger defense. I don't think that's going to... I mean, Brett Kavanaugh's legal team isn't pulling out the doppelganger defense. They're probably going to... I don't even know if they've even mentioned that. I think that's just some... There was some right-wing journalist who did that, but I think he did that independently. I think that was his own theory. I don't think Kavanaugh's going to use that doppelganger defense. But yeah, I did see what you're talking about. And they do kind of look alike, but not really that much.
So I don't know.
But yeah, like you said, everything is really flimsy. Now, what was this woman's name? Julie Swetnick is Michael Avenatti's client. So Michael Avenatti came out, I think it was Sunday, or maybe it was Saturday or Sunday. He came out saying that he had a client and that he was going to be releasing some information really soon. The message board 4chan, which we all are very familiar with. Now, the people on 4chan like to prank each other, but a member of 4chan said that I guess he got his girlfriend to contact Michael Avenatti from a burner phone and pretend to be someone who was assaulted by Brett Kavanaugh and told him all these different things. And then I guess he was trying to set up like CNN interviews, and he was trying to set up getting a statement from her, and he was talking about paying her money. And then once it was all said and done, she broke her burner phone, and then supposedly he never heard from her again. So yesterday, Michael Avenatti locked his Twitter account. And then around the same time was when word got out that Michael Avenatti was pranked, that he did not actually find an actual client, but was really just tricked. And so the theory yesterday is that Michael Avenatti got pranked by 4chan. I was reading this, and I was hoping and praying that this was true.
I was laughing. I was laughing my ass off. That was funny.
I was laughing so freaking hard.
We all remember when they did the whole flag thing with that TV show kid that did the live stream, the "You Will Not Divide Us" thing. I'm trying to think of his name.
Who was that? They also did the whole. They also did the whole. They got some journalists to think. I think it was BuzzFeed. They tricked BuzzFeed into thinking
two-gender thing.
A white power sign. There are people who still think that this is a white power sign.
Yep.
Although it's not. It's just an okay sign.
Same with the peace sign. Apparently, there are still now more ones thinking that it's apparently now the two-gender sign that is evil.
Well, now you've done it. You torpedoed your brand now.
Oh, I know, right? Anyway, but then Michael Avenatti unlocked his Twitter account this morning, and then that sworn statement that he said he had days ago was signed yesterday. Interesting. Or no, actually, I think it was today. Was it today or yesterday?
I forget. I was reading all this yesterday when I was looking at it, so
I can't remember. Oh man. So anyway, so now as far as we know, Michael Avenatti has a client, but this story has so many holes in it. And at the same time, I mean, it's Michael Avenatti. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's nickname is Creepy Porn Lawyer, so who knows what you're going to get from him.
What was it again with this FFF bullshit what he made? What was so fucking stupid.
Language.
Yeah, that was
Well, he used the word anyway, Nut.
in the book. Yeah, he said, I survived the 4th of July. 4th had like 6 F's in it. And Avenatti made up some crap about that, which probably isn't even true. So consider this. So say all 3 of these are just blatant lies, and they are smear tactics, and these are just attempts to keep Michael Kavanaugh from getting confirmed. Now, there's a lot of fear on the left that if Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed, that he's going to be the deciding vote to overturn Roe v. Wade, which I doubt. I really don't think that's going to happen. Kavanaugh has even been known to call Roe v. Wade super precedent. Kavanaugh has a reputation as a textualist. He makes decisions based only on what the law says. But there's a lot of fear on the left that he will overturn Roe v. Wade, and the war on women would be escalated by like 10,000 stages.
Of course.
Yeah, because for some reason they want the government to have more power over them. I'm like, what the fuck? What dumb shit do you want?
Now, for a war to accelerate, wouldn't a war already need to be going on?
According to the left, the war on women has been going on for decades. According to the left.
But the
left is also delusional and insane. But now consider this. Consider this. Consider that these are smear tactics. These are blatant lies. Consider that these are outed as blatant lies and smear tactics. Do you think Brett Kavanaugh would have the opportunity to make a ton of money? I mean, think of all the lawsuits he could file. Because
is there something preventing him from doing so as a district appellate judge, as a DC appellate judge? Because
because his reputation. I mean, he's a public figure, but his reputation is being drug over the coals.
Right, but if that happened, would it be where would the trial take place? Would it be in a DC? Because I don't know how DC courts work. I just know about the two federal levels. Given that it's not a proper state. So I mean, I know it has like a city all that, but how are civil trials handled?
Well, like the Avenatti's client lives in Maryland, so he could probably. That trial could probably take place in Maryland. Christine Blasey Ford lives in California, so that he could probably sue her in California. As far as the third woman, I don't know where she lives, but whatever state, I guess maybe you could sue her in that state. Or they all could take place in Maryland. I don't know. But do you think that he can make a lot of money? I mean, he could sue the crap out of Michael Avenatti too, because Michael Avenatti has been really trying to drag his reputation through the ringer. My gosh.
I would think so. I think the hardest part about him having suits in Maryland would be, given that he's been in that state's, that in Virginia's legal circles for so long, it'd be the hardest part, I suppose, would be finding judges that don't know him.
Right.
To try the suit down.
Yeah, but
he's been in DC legal circles since Ken Starr.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he has. Another thing to consider too is that everybody's calling for FBI investigations of all three of these allegations. He's been vetted by the FBI like 6 different times, and I mean, if you're going for a federal job, they really dig into your background. I mean, these background checks are not easy to pass. They really dig into your background.
Why hasn't any of this come up before? And 2, why are they? Well, I mean, we can answer this question with 2 words or 4 words. It's politics or it's the Democrats. But why are they not following the same standard that they had, say, during the Clarence Thomas nomination when Joe Biden, thanks to the internet, somebody dug this up. Joe Biden was sitting there saying, FBI investigation means jack squat. It has nothing to do with it. It means nothing. They're incompetent, or they're this, or they're that. He said he had this 2-minute long tirade against the FBI about how useless such a thing was. This is what, and saying what matters is what we say,
Right. I don't know. How long would an FBI investigation take of all 3 of these allegations? Because, there's a certain thing coming up in November that the Democrats have really been rallying their base about, called the midterm elections. You've probably heard about it. I'm sure we all have heard about it because it's all we've been hearing about for the past few months. But how long would these FBI investigations take? Would they last beyond the midterm elections on November 7th? And, you know, I don't know. This just they don't make any sense to me. And the more I look at this, the more I think it is a stall tactic.
Absolutely. I would say that investigation would last not just through the midterms, but through most of the upcoming Supreme Court, they call that docket, something or other that starts in October.
Yes, with that. Now, the new session starts on October 1st. So they're right now, the Senate Judiciary Committee has scheduled a Senate vote for Friday where they would decide if they want to confirm Kavanaugh or reject him. So the way that would work is that if, say, he's not confirmed as of October 1st, now there aren't any Supreme Court cases coming up, I don't think. But hypothetically, if there were, if any of them have started before he was confirmed and he wasn't there to listen to oral arguments, he could not make a decision on those cases. But I don't think that's I don't know of any Supreme Court cases that are starting on October 1st, so we probably wouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah. I don't know.
Far be it for me to assert any skepticism where those sorts of dates on a calendar might have some coincidence with how late they want to push back the nomination. Poppycock.
And another thing, I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons for the timing of this as well, but the news about Bill Cosby being jailed came out recently, so it's like even though I know it's not like a big conspiracy, I feel like sometimes like they'll have like a story that's ready to drop for like a week or two, and they'll wait for like a more opportune time to drop it while other things are going on. So this whole Bill Cosby thing's been going on for years, if I can remember correctly, and now the news is coming out now. So maybe it's like a way of like boosting up the sexual assault talk in the media, and just bring that subject to light like a little bit more while all this is going on.
Yeah, and there's another news story happening that was really big in the news for about a day, but then it quickly died. Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, is supposed to meet with Trump tomorrow. He met with John Kelly, I think either Monday. Yeah, it's Monday he met with John Kelly, and there were conflicting reports. One of them was that he told Kelly that he would resign, and another one said that he never said anything about resigning. But he's supposed to meet with Trump tomorrow, where he might be fired, he might not be fired. But they talked about that for a few hours, and then it quickly died because of all the stuff with Brett Kavanaugh. That's the biggest thing in the news right now. And you would think it was the only thing in the news right now because it's all the people are talking about. But tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time is when testimonies are supposed to begin. It should be a lot of fun. I'll be following it. I don't know if it's going to be an open session or a closed session, but I'll be on Twitter looking for updates either way. It's going to be a good time, though. Lots of... I don't know if tomorrow is going to be a total chaotic meltdown or if it's going to be a simple thing. Maybe Ford won't even testify. Maybe she will pull out the last minute and not go through with it. I don't know. Who knows? But either way,
pull out the last minute.
Yeah, either way, probably a poor choice of words, but either way, the vote is still supposed to happen Friday, as far as we know. So by Friday evening, we should know if we have a new Supreme Court justice or not.
Apparently, this came out just a few minutes ago. Apparently, Judiciary is talking to someone about who thinks he forced himself on Dr. Ford, who's not Judge Kavanaugh. So apparently,
really, I'm gonna have to look for that.
Someone else that Twitter's what is it? the redhead libertarian made a quote tweet about it. He's kind of like, what the fuck is happening here? What?
My gosh. I don't know. I don't know. That is, I'm gonna have to look for that. I will have to look for that. I don't know. That's interesting though. But so we had one viewer during the stream, which is probably, oh, we have two now. Oh, we have a Vincere Otmori. I don't know who that is. Ever notice how the left always puts the emphasis on the number of allegations and never on the strength of the actual proof? Valid point. Very valid point. But yeah, you are correct. So we did have a viewer. We appreciate you watching tonight. Of course, this will be archived on the Sarcasm and Liberty YouTube channel, which people can go back and watch later. But we enjoy doing these live streams for everyone every week. We have a lot of fun doing this. We just sit here and talk about life, liberty, and sarcasm and all the things going on in the news. Another live stream will be out next Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
But
Good night, guys. No,